what we offer and what the Employee Assistance Program can offer through Insured Solutions. So we're going to go over what about EAP consultants who Insured Solutions has decided to provide the EAP with, and what it is, and then the services that are available that include the counseling services, work life, and online services. So we've been providing EAP services since '89. We are one of the only companies that solely focuses on EAP. That's our #1 job. We're not packaged in with any other service. We only do EAP, and it's very important to us, and we have gotten a lot of awards because of that focus and because we're very, very client-centered. We provide confidential counseling for personal and work problems, so it doesn't have to be just always work-related. It can definitely be personal concerns if somebody, unfortunately, our loved ones may pass away, or there's stress in our life that's outside of work. We can help with that. We also have consultation resources for legal, financial, child care, elder care, adoption, pet, and academic concerns, and I'll go through all of these, and then we have online resources as well. So it's kind of an all-encompassing, how can we help you balance that work and that home life so that your employees can have be happy, be productive, do well at work, and then feel good about being at home as well. So this is prepaid for the employees, and so the employees get up to 6 counseling sessions per issue per year. And sometimes in the case that, well, they get up to 6, so if somebody passes away and they need some sessions for their grief in the beginning of the year, then they get those 6 sessions. But it's, let's say later in the year they have some job stress or they have some marital conflict, they can go get 6 more sessions or up to 6 depending on what they need, and they'll get those sessions. And then the counselor, if they need something further, then that's fine. If they need longer term services or more than 6, then the counselor will help them get connected with somebody that's in their insurance or within the resources that that employee has. Employees and their dependents are covered by the EAP, and services are confidential. So these are some of the issues that are addressed by the EAP. And like I said, it can be a variety of issues, and it can be anything, just a general life transition. Maybe one of your employees got married and they bought a house and now they found out they're pregnant. So it's just a lot to overcome at one time. Even though it's all positive things, they might just need somebody to talk to. Or let's say there's something more serious. Maybe there's an alcohol concern, and they just, are concerned about a loved one that has a possible alcohol problem. And so they could go for that. So there's a variety of issues. One of our top issues that people come in for are marital and family, and then stress. So we have a vetting process for our counselors. Counseling services have to be provided by a master's level or a doctorate level clinician. And there's different things that they have to do to pass our requirements, including having some EAP experience and understanding. Because the whole point is to help them specifically, how are these employees functioning at the job, and how is it, is there something that can help them so that they can have that productive work that they need. You guys deal with risk management, so sometimes when people are stressed out, they're more prone to accidents, so we want to help keep them safe in that manner too. Like I said, we have specialists available if they have a substance abuse issue, but also marriage issues. There's people that see children. So we have quite a large panel of people that specialize in different arenas. We have multiple languages available for, that our clinicians speak, and including sign language. And then as far as our consultants, the non-counseling consultants, that includes attorneys, financial advisors, child care specialists, adoption specialists, pet care specialist, and elder care specialist. So back to the counselors. These are the kind of counselors, if you're familiar with them, but it basically is just a variety of counselors to address different issues and different needs. And so what do they do in counseling? So EAP is short-term counseling, obviously, if you get 6 sessions. And so what they do is they help the client identify the problem. Then they develop a plan so they can resolve that problem. And then they provide direction and help them reach their goals and support them in their process of reaching those goals. And then if there's something that's longer term, then we'll help get them connected with the longer term, whether it's through insurance or they need to go through a private pay for whatever reason and need to get into community resources. We're happy to help with that as well. But we kind of do a wraparound way. Let's get you started. Here's your plan. Let's get you on your way, and then let's make sure you have that follow-through that you need. Like I said, our services are confidential. So what that means is we have a federal guideline because we're all licensed mental health professionals, and many of you are probably aware of HIPAA, but that's the same law that we have to cover. If you're not aware, it's the same law that would not allow your doctor to share your medical information with anybody without your direct express permission. So if somebody uses EAP, unless the employee gives express permission that we can share that information, we're legally bound to keeping it confidential. And no information can be released unless there's these categories of elder abuse, neglect, if somebody's going to hurt themselves, or if they have an identified target of a person that they want to hurt, or if there's a court order. In that situation, we have to violate confidentiality because it's for the greater good. If the greater good is at risk and there's a safety concern. But many of you probably already know this. But most of all, mostly that's not an issue. Usually it's just that they contacted EAP and got counseling, and we can't share that without their permission. Most of our referrals are self-referral, and that's where the employee calls in themselves or the employee's spouse, partner, or children, if they're adults, call in for services. Often there's an informal referral. That means that if you're the supervisor or if you're a company owner or CEO, then you might say, hey, did you know that we have EAP? And you just offer that service. And then there's a supervisory referral program as well. That's when it's recommended to address specific job problems and help that employee. So one of the things that I really enjoy facilitating, as well as I'm really excited that we offer, are management and organizational support. So if you are an employer and you have an employee that you're concerned about, let's say you have an employee who has recently experienced a loss. And I say loss a lot because it's just such a common, unfortunately, experience that people have. And so maybe they had a significant loss of a spouse or a child, and they're having a hard time at work, and you as the supervisor or the boss don't really know what to do or how to help them. Then that's where you where you would call me or one of our other relationship managers. So if I'm not here, you can always get help. You don't have to work around my schedule. But what we do is we are licensed mental health professionals, and we will talk with you about how you could provide support, what are appropriate reactions, what maybe some ideas that the other employees, or sometimes the employees come to the supervisor and don't know what to do. And so just making suggestions on that, and how to even just coach somebody on maybe this person's grieving and you just don't know how to tell them about EAP without them making, you feel like if you do it, they'll think that you think they're crazy or something like that. So we coach on how to do that and kind of guide you through that process. Also, sometimes there's employees with questionable behaviors that just we don't really understand, and it's not necessarily a policy violation. It's just an erratic type behavior. Maybe they're having outbursts or something like that. So we will help strategize with the supervisor or the employer to help them kind of come up with ways to help that employee kind of get back where they were before and help them with that more productive and hopefully happier employee. So that's the counseling, and I'll stop for just a second. Are there any questions about the counseling services? If you want to raise your hand or if you want to type in a question. And if I need to unmute you, just let me know. I don't see any questions. Okay. So that's counseling. The other services we offer are work life, and these are the variety of work life, and I'm going to go through each of them. Whoops. Okay. So with legal services, you get a telephonic and a face-to-face consultation. So you can choose which one you prefer, but you get a free 30-minute consultation, and it can be for a variety of legal issues, including these listed. It's pretty much anything except suing your employer, right, and some tax laws, which can get pretty specialized. So we say telephonic, we prefer face-to-face, but sometimes I've had situations where people were doing estate planning and they had to file for somebody, maybe a loved one, an elderly loved one that passed, and then they have their estate, but the loved one that passed is in another state or another county, and so it wasn't convenient to travel to go face-to-face. So then we'll do the 30-minute telephonic consultation. Or sometimes there's a situation, like I said, that's distant, so it wouldn't be convenient to do face-to-face. But if it is convenient, we'll definitely try to do that. And we'll get you matched with the professional that matches the issue that you're needing to address. After that 30-minute consultation, you get a 25% discount at the attorney's standard hourly rate. Now, I will say, attorneys are, if you have never dealt with one, they're pretty expensive, but you do get a 25% discount. You can also get a simple will prepared at no cost, and so we can. That's something that a lot of people find very appealing, is because that's one of those things that people always mean to do, but they kind of never get around to it. And so if your employees would like a simple will, we'll be happy to give that to them and send that to them. They just need to call us, and it's a very quick process. Also reviewing up to a 6-page letter or a single phone call that's some, or a single letter that's maybe a template, a cease and desist type thing. They can help with that as well. For financial consultations, again, it's just anything from getting out of debt to planning for retirement, looking long-term or even just short-term, handling some issues. You get a 30-minute telephonic consultation for free, and then they'll connect you with resources after that. For childcare referrals, so it can be a variety, and it doesn't have to just be, 9 to 5 daycare. It could be odd hours of daycare. It could be you want an in-home nanny. It could be after-school programs. Maybe your child has a special need and they need some assistance. Or maybe you're fine during the year, but now there's winter break or spring break or summer and you need a camp and you need to figure out what to do because you've got to work. Then we can help with that as well as transportation. And what we do is we provide 3 resources that have openings, and we give you the names of those resources, at least 3. Usually you get 3 to 5, but it's at least 3 with openings. Same thing with adoption resources. Everything from you're just thinking about it all the way to you're closing out the adoption. You need some counseling for the family as the transition occurs. And then even adoption reunion. Eldercare, this is a really great service that is kind of a hidden gem in my view, is because what happens with eldercare is if you have an elderly loved one, they could be going through a variety of phases. So it might even just be at the level of just starting the conversation with that elderly loved one, which is really difficult for everybody involved because the loved one may not be ready to start thinking about long-term care or think that they need long-term care assistance. Or maybe they don't, but maybe their spouse just died and they're they don't have the social support because they've been spending the last few years taking care of their spouse, so they're kind of disconnected from their social support, all the way up through maybe you're just helping navigate the Medicare and Medicaid system. So you get connected with a geriatric care manager and they will help walk you through starting that conversation all the way up to long-term, maybe nursing home. So anything in between. So respite care, companion programs, home health, just activities for seniors. And this doesn't have to be local. If you have an elderly loved one, let's say you live in Georgia, but your loved one lives in Oregon, you can still use the benefit and we'll get the resources in that area. So I think that's a really good one, especially navigating through that Medicare Medicaid program, because it can be very difficult. The other thing is academic. If you or your child decides to go back to or goes to school or needs tutoring or needs planning for college or testing, then we can help with that as well. Finally, we have our little family members that are furry, and we can help get you information on breeders, or if you need a good groomer, if you've just moved and you don't know what the local vets are, or if you want a new puppy or a new kitten or whatever animal, we'll help you locate somebody that has what you're looking for. If you are relocating, we do offer daily living and concierge resources as well. So that could be anything from getting your home in great shape all the way to relocation. And if you're new, finding providers in the area, that's always very difficult when you're in a new, even if you just move neighborhoods, you may not know who's convenient to your neighborhood. You know who is close to your old neighborhood, but where's the local grocery store? Where's the closest yoga studio, whatever. And so it might be, this is something that you can use to kind of feel like you're transitioning better in your home. And like I said, this is a list of all the relocation services. It can be really difficult and very time consuming, so we can help with that and make it a little bit easier transition. So the other thing that we can offer, you have your own, you'll know it's the Insured Solutions EAP website, and there is a vast amount of information on here. And there's all these, and these are the different subject tabs that you'll see across the top. And there's a variety of issues in there, topics that are addressed. And it's everything from mental health to legal to financial to just overall wellness. And so these are the topics that are offered. And your password is Insured EAP. And I'm going to go through these different topics. But if you want to look at it, it's Insured EAP. We also have online webinars. And one we just did was Finding Your Balance, 8 Secrets. And it was a life coach talking about work-life balance. And then, but then as you can see, there's planning for long-term care, budget, so it's just kind of a variety of topics, and there's 2 a month, and one is more like an elder care, child care, parenting type topic, and then the other one's legal and financial, so it's kind of this mental health, emotional wellness, family, and then more legal financial topics as well. And then we have different topics that are listed every month. And we try to keep it up to date, like if there's some sort of, when there was the school shootings, we'll put an article up about school shootings and maybe talking to children about shootings and things like that, which is unfortunate, but we try to keep it up so that if there's something pressing for you or your employees, that we have an article or some sort of resource on it for you that's easy to access. Tons of online documents. So if you're renting property, or there's a personal injury, or you have a contract, something like that, there's a lot of information on that regarding those legal and financial matters. We have an online behavioral health library, and it can be anything from stress to parenting to addictions. So like I said, there's many articles on that. Sometimes I'll just go on there if there's something like, if I need something, 5 coping skills to deal with stress at work, and I might just Google that, and I'll just say stress at work, and it'll come up with these articles, and they're all ranked, and they're, the stars are lit up depending on what people have ranked them, so that's always helpful too. Okay, and then you have identity theft information as well. And then smoking, how to help quit smoking, some resources on that. And then when you quit smoking, there's stress management. I'm just kidding. So just how to build that stress-resistant lifestyle. And then there's online assessments that you can take. There's other online screening, such as a depression screening, the alcohol use disorder. If you feel like you have one, but also if you think somebody in your family or somebody that you care about has one, you can go on there and take that and kind of look and learn more that way. There's wellness assessments, gambling, anxiety, whoops. And it will get you connected. I mean, it doesn't automatically connect you, but if there's some red flag in the assessment, if the employee takes it, it will, encourage contacting EAP and list how you can contact EAP. And then there's also a drug-free workplace training. And then there's other resources about common medical conditions, health risk assessment. So there's a variety of issues on there. So the reason that this is important, so we have this whole work-life balance, is because when people are stressed, they're distracted. And when they can't focus, they're distracted. Or when something's going on at home, as you all know, because we've all had situations at home, and it's hard sometimes to leave it at home. And then when you have things at home and at work, it can get really stressful. And so a lot of what you guys deal with, obviously, is work comp claims. And people get hurt when they're distracted, basically. I mean, I'm not trying to simplify it, but it comes down to, there's other reasons that people get hurt, but faulty equipment and whatnot. But when people aren't following the procedures, when they're not concentrating and they can't focus on what they're doing, it's a higher likelihood that they'll get hurt. And so what we're trying to do is help, and the EAP can help get that employee back to that higher level of performance. And perhaps they were never at a high level of performance, but they're capable of it. So perhaps the EAP can help in that manner too. Perhaps maybe it's just a consultation, working with the supervisors and the managers, doing a consultation of what can I do to get my team to this level. And we can discuss that as well. So we try to look at all angles. Maybe there's not a mental health issue, but there's a legal issue or a financial issue that's distracting the employee. So this is very important in keeping that employee focused. And so we're trying to help remove that stress and those other stressors so that you can reduce your accidents, reduce your worker comp claims, but also you have a happier workforce, and it's a more pleasant place to work when people are happier. So it's twofold, but it's helping your work community be in a better place, if that makes sense. And so we're available 24 hours a day, 7 days a week throughout the holidays. We're always available. We have after hours. We have relationship managers that are on call. So we always want to make sure that anytime somebody calls that they get help. And it doesn't matter what level of help they need. If they want somebody, if they just need to talk to somebody, we'll get them an appointment within 3 days. That's our guarantee, that we don't want them waiting weeks, and they shouldn't be waiting weeks or even a week unless they can't do it for a week, unless their schedule doesn't allow it and that's their preference. But we will give them an appointment in 3 days. If it's an urgent appointment, we'll get it within 24 hours, and then if it's an emergency, we'll take care of it. Because part of our job as licensed mental health professionals is to make sure that they're taken care of and that they're safe. So we'll do what we need to. If your employee wants to see somebody, we can find somebody close to their home or close to their work, whatever is more convenient. Maybe they want an appointment right after work, or if they work an odd shift, they want it right before work. That's fine. We can get it convenient to work. I've had employees go to counselors that in certain situations, if it's a more urban area, they can walk. They didn't have a car, so we got them somewhere they could walk to. The other thing is that if maybe, and it is face-to-face, so we get them, it's not telephonic counseling unless they prefer that and it's appropriate. So we can do telephonic counseling, but that's always a secondary option. The primary option is to get them connected with a counselor, and then the counselor will work with them on getting them connected through their insurance if needed beyond the EAP, and so that they can have that continued care. The other thing is we have an app, and it's called IEAPC, and the password for that app is the Insured EAP. And this is where it's on their phone. They'll get newsletters on the phone from, general employee newsletters from EAP on different topics. It's getting to be, the weather's changing, it's getting to be winter, so we might have seasonal affective, how seasons affect us. We won't call it like, because there is a disorder called seasonal affective disorder, but that's kind of depressing. So we won't have a topic on that, but we'll have a topic of how seasons affect us. And then they can request services right from there. They can access our website. And so it just creates that immediate access to us if they need it. And it's just in front of them so they know that we're always there if they should need it. And again, it's 24/7. So this is how you access us. This is your phone number, 800-869-0276. It'll be on all your promotional items, all your brochures and things like that. And then you can also go to our website, which is just eapconsultants.com. And then here's my contact information. So sorry, my title's really long, so just ignore that. But I'm Heather Graham, and here's my direct phone number. And then you can email me at hgraham@eapconsultants.com. Let's see, I'm just seeing if there's any other questions. And so that is the basic overview of all the services. And I just want to see if anybody has any questions or if I need to unmute them. Any thoughts? Yes, and your services are effective as of today. So you could call today if you like, or over the holiday, or whatever. So everybody joining, your services are effective today. Sorry, I should have said that earlier. And if anybody needs a review or anything like that, just let me know. Or if you have any questions, you can always call me. Let's see, and I don't see any other. I don't see any other questions. So I think that's it, unless there's anything else.